Throughout the 2010s and early 2020s, Marvel was the big man on campus. They made billions, and DC was a joke compared to them. But after Avengers Endgame, Marvel decided to try their hand at television. They had moderate success with the Defender saga, but that was a deal with Netflix, so those shows were completely scrapped. Unfortunately, with the exception of Loki, the shows ranged from terrible to mediocre at best. And in 2022, DC dropped what I'm pretty sure is their first TV show canon to the DCEU. Peacemaker is probably the second best superhero show to ever be made, with the only competition being the original Daredevil series, which was made by Netflix and largely outside of Kevin Feige's domain. Season 1 follows Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, 6 months after the events of The Suicide Squad, working for Myrn, and Argus agents from The Suicide Squad, working together to stop an invasion of alien butterflies. Now, this is not something that should have worked. Peacemaker was a side character and a minor villain in a movie that bombed, and the premise of this show is that of a high-budget blockbuster. So how on earth did the season turn out as well as it did? Well, there are 3 major things that make this show great. The first thing is that for once, DC took a page from Marvel's book and made a very simple story, but went 100% in on the characters. The big secret to every Marvel project's quality has been phenomenal character development and an otherwise simple story. Peacemaker gets the all-star treatment here. We learn a lot about his past, more so how he was raised and how he always viewed himself. We learn that his dad was a KKK member who made Chris and his brother Keith brawl in a pit in their backyard for his friend's entertainment. During one of these fights, Chris accidentally hit his brother too hard and in just the right spot, and it killed him. And like all good, loving fathers, Chris was sure to know that his brother's death was 100% his fault. Now, I don't think this is a good enough bridge into the actual oath Peacemaker took to have peace at any cost. This was a parent being abusive, not someone dying that was a result of an event spinning out of control that one murder would have not only stopped, but it also saved more lives than lost. But all the same, it's a very sad origin. They also show us Peacemaker's current relationship with his dad and how complex it is. This season does a great job at showing how complicated a relationship between parents and their children can be in general. Chris doesn't agree with his dad on anything. He thinks it's fucked up that his dad thinks people of color are second-class citizens. He hates that his dad is a former supervillain, the White Dragon, and he does subconsciously blame his dad for what happened to his brother and has thought about killing him.
Piece of shit for not killing you in your sleep!
But naturally, he doesn't want to, because this is his dad. This is the guy who raised him, and even if he hates him, his dad was part of his life for 40 years, and that's not an easy thing to let go of. The best moment in the entire show was after White Dragon attacks Peacemaker and Vigilante. Peacemaker kills him. And John Cena does a brilliant job at showing Chris realizing what he did and how much it hurt this character, even though his dad was a complete piece of shit.
Wait.
And James Gunn decides to sprinkle in the idea that Peacemaker doesn't want to kill people anymore. And not in the sense of having a no-kill rule like Batman, but he was clearly bothered by the notion of executing children. And this desire to change stems from him being forced to kill Rick Flag Jr. in The Suicide Squad. We see that he hates himself for doing it, and he did it because it aligned with the ideas he preached, but it made him feel so awful that it forces him to rethink his whole ideology in the season. It was something that could have been avoided, but he pulled his gun on someone instead of trying to steal or destroy the evidence later, which is what led to Rick Flag fighting back and dying. All this changes Peacemaker from a character who values an end result that looks nice but the road to it is drenched in blood, to a character who sees more value in individuals. Even if he can still fall victim to stereotypes and be a bit of a prick, when the chips were down, he chose to throw away a chance at making Earth a better place overall to save 4 people. One of the reasons Peacemaker was so much fun to watch in The Suicide Squad was because in that movie, Peacemaker was just a sociopath that existed to bounce off Bloodsport, our more level-headed main character. But now that he's the focus, he had to act more like a human being, And to fill in the sociopath void, James Gunn gave us Vigilante. There is nothing special about Adrian Chase. He is just an idiot who hangs out with Peacemaker and loves to kill people. This will be a hit or miss character for a lot of people. You will either find him extremely annoying or absolutely hilarious. I thought it was hysterical when Peacemaker is freaking out after getting orders to shoot children, so Vigilante, with zero hesitation, shoots the mother, son, and daughter while humming and jokingly mentions a code name the family was given right before he's about to shoot the dad. The other characters in the show are serviceable. Adebayo being Amanda Waller's daughter and eyes and ears in the mission could have been a really interesting plot beat given how good a friend she was becoming with Peacemaker, but they do kind of brush over it because it happens when the Butterflies plot has been kicked into full gear. Economos is really only here for a couple jokes and to get Peacemaker's dad into prison. Harcourt gets a pinch of development where we see her take a leadership role by episode 8. And Myrn is just the guy giving orders. We learn he's a butterfly and has deep regrets on killing one guy to warn the world of an alien invasion, but that's really it. All the character work really does go into Peacemaker, and it was time well spent. The second thing the show did really well was telling a serialized story. Each episode has a beginning, middle, and end, each building off of one another, which is the big thing Marvel didn't seem to understand until recently. But above that, the show managed to actually tell an overarching story throughout the season. DC made a better Secret Invasion show before Marvel could even attempt that colossal fuck up. A story about aliens taking over humans and ranking high in the government isn't a completely original story. Captain America Winter Soldier did something very similar, and this season doesn't go a whole lot into the implications that it could have. I think the reveal that the aliens were trying to save the Earth from a potential doomed future is a nice twist, but we don't learn this until seconds before they lose. Everything really only exists to push Peacemaker forward, which is what Marvel did for years, and this was the first project that seemed to learn from it. Probably because the guy who made it made some of the best films to come out of Marvel. The third and final thing that makes the show great is the opening. The opening is chef's kiss, 10s all across the board. There aren't many shows that I'll willingly watch the opening for, even the short ones I'll skip, but the straight-faced, goofy dancing was such a delight to watch, and I do look forward to it every time a new episode comes on. While Peacemaker is a great show, it's not without its flaws. I don't think the humor always works. The entire 7th episode is complete tonal whiplash. Peacemaker fighting his dad is very tense, then Vigilante is pissing on a tree. Peacemaker kills his dad, starts crying. Vigilante brings up a face exercise joke from earlier in the show. While the ongoing joke about Peacemaker starting rumors about other superheroes is great, the show didn't seem to quite fully understand the concept of time and place. But humor is completely subjective. If you're cracking up from the start, you'll be in tears by the end. Peacemaker is a great show. There was a lot more I could have talked about, but for the sake of time, I'll cut myself off. I couldn't recommend the show enough. If you guys made it to the end, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you liked the video, I have a bunch of Peacemaker videos from my review of The Suicide Squad, and I'm reviewing each episode as Season 2 drops. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, take care.